Okay, so here's a different one. Kingpin versus Bane. These two guys actually have quite a lot in common if you think about it from a logical standpoint. They're both masterminds. They're both very, very physically dominating individuals. And they both actually had a pretty decent run when it comes to what is it actually accomplished. They're also masterminds, cruel, intimidating individuals. And both had very, very iconic looks. But they've also been in live action form twice, notably. With Bane, of course, having been in Batman versus Robin, or Batman, not Batman versus Robin, might have been better. And Batman and Robin, when he wasn't done very well. And then, of course, when he was in The Dark Knight Rises. Where, for Kingpin, he was played by Michael Clark Duncan in the Ben Affleck movie. And he was also, most recently, he's Vincent D'Onofrio in the Marvel Netflix series. So, also, ironic thing about Kingpin, he's normally considered a Daredevil villain, but classic Kingpin is actually a Spider-Man villain. Where he was used, he was able to fight Spider-Man, stalemate him quite a few times. It was also very good when it came to battling people like Captain America. So I'm going to do this fight 3 different ways. First way is going to be classic Kingpin versus non-Venom Bane. Second way is going to be current Kingpin versus non-Venom Bane. The final one being, of course, classic Kingpin versus Bane with Venom. So, I do this through the systems. You can see right on the, well, I guess it would be this side, because it looks different on my screen because everything's slightly backwards. So intelligence, findability, strength, speed, durability. And as always, the person with more X's ends up winning that round. So if it's 6-3, the person with 6 is going to win a vast majority. If it's 5-4, you can still make the argument that, the person with 5 could still is the person with 4. So we get around with intelligence. One of the unique things about both of these characters is in the classic iteration of Kingpin, he was pretty much Lex Luthor without the suit. Where when it comes to Bane, the best classification of Bane, yes, he was very good when it came to discerning how to defeat Batman, but I think his best description probably came from Ra's al Ghul, who said he's very intelligent, but it's more of the kind of an animal than truly being cultured and having a refinement to his intelligence. So, in the classic sense, I'm going to have to go with Kingpin in that. He did a great job when it came to developing his own equipment, developing lots of gadgets, was very good when it came to criminal mastermind work, and Bane, in his normal iterations, is pretty much given as he's a very intelligent individual, but his intelligence is slightly different because he spent his entire existence pretty much in a prison. Fighting ability. Yes, during the time of classic Kingpin, sumo, it's like a world-class sumo. Very good when it came to find other hand-to-hand individuals. But I'm going to go with Bane, predominantly because during Bane's time, he's shown that he can hang with pretty much any fighter. He can go toe-to-toe with Batman, toe-to-toe with Azrael. So he has a tremendous, if I look at, Kingpin's beaten, classic version has beaten Spider-Man, Captain America. At those times, they really didn't do that much in the way of the true breakdown of actual physical combat. It was more if he would get them close and give them a bear hug, and it was pretty much enough to knock somebody unconscious. Strength. Ironically, I have to give this one to Kingpin. He was shown in his classic iteration that he actually could hold Spider-Man. He could very easily hold Spider-Man, as well as pretty much get Captain America in a bear hug and knock him unconscious. Of course, this is Bane without Venom. This is Bane in his most normal iteration. Speed. Bane without Venom maxed out at human speed. Classic Kingpin, ironically, was able to hold pretty well with Spider-Man. So he's able to match his agility, and he's commonly referred to as being very agile for a man of his size. Durability. Well, this one I have to give this one to Bane, probably because he spent his entire life fighting. He's not going to tire. Kingpin, he spent a lot of time fighting, but he's not used to that really kind of grabbing himself by the bootstraps sort of existence that Bane's had to have, which is going to give Bane a definite advantage when it comes to just physical durability and mental durability. He's not going to give up. and vulnerability. Bane, as you can tell, no armor on that guy. His armor is the fact that he is super jacked. Classic Kingpin, Kevlar, relatively bulletproof. Energy projection. This is going to be kind of an unfair one, because Bane, while he is very good when it comes to weapons and guns, doesn't tend to use them very often. And classic Kingpin, you might notice that he's got this cane in his hand. Well, you know what that cane did? That cane actually did laser blasts. So we actually built a laser cane. Versatility. Remember I mentioned how old school Kingpin was a gadget guy. So he had essentially a sleep poison, sleep gases, and the King could either use laser blasts, concussive blasts. He was, essentially, like I said, he was Lex Luthor. At X Factor, this one I'm going to give it to Bane, because if nothing else, Bane showed early on, he's first taking on Batman, that he can fight somebody who has gadgets, and can do a very good job against him. So, of course, in this very, very classic first round, I'm going to have to, of course, give the win to Kingpin. Using, of course, one of the classic ones where after Spider-Man quit, Kingpin was actually able to do a pretty good job taking over the entirety of New York. So now we're going to the next round. Now, of course, I'm not going to change the pictures. Of course, now we're looking at these two guys. This is current Kingpin, who does not like to use anywhere near as many gadgets versus Bane. So now these two guys, no gadgets. No gadgets at all. It's just these two guys, physical fight. They show up, dropped off in the same area. Nothing beyond what they are normally wearing. Intelligence edge still goes, of course, to Kingpin. Fighting still goes to Bane. Now, since they're in the current version, now all of a sudden Kingpin isn't hanging with Spider-Man. He does a pretty good job against Daredevil. Daredevil, peak human, where Bane is definitely at the very, very top tier of peak human. He's essentially Olympic level strength. So he does have a strength advantage. Speed advantage, kind of odd, but people are still amazed at how fast Kingpin can move. Some people have actually had him down to the point where he actually can dodge projectiles pretty well. I will still give a durability edge, of course, to Bane, just given his natural overall existence. And vulnerability, you know, Bane, not a fan of body armor, where, of course, Kingpin is. So I come down to X Factor. And this one I'm going to give again to Bane, because if nothing else, if I picture these two guys fighting in almost any sort of scenario, and if Bane knows he has to defeat Kingpin, he's not going to relent. You know, the things that Bane has put himself through to find out information about his father to prove his own innocence, he is a ridiculously strong and driven individual. And he is scrappy. And he's a guy who's not afraid to get stabbed, to take a couple of shots, to finish the job. Bane's desire to win at almost all costs is going to be what's going to help him defeat somebody like Kingpin. So, of course, for this round, I think I have to actually close that one. So, of course, I went with a pretty classic picture of Bane. This is after he's defeated Batman, more or less saying that the city is mine. So, yes, I did kind of go with an idea that they're both battling over, of course, a large major city. So now we're going to finish this off with classic Kingpin, Bane with Venom. Now this one's going to seem probably a bit more on the unique side because of all the action you see with Venom from Venom. So normally Kingpin would have the intelligence, but one of the things that Venom actually did for Bane is it really heightened his mental acuity. So beyond just having animal cunning, he's not thinking fast. He's not thinking faster than an average human. So now all of a sudden he is ridiculously focused. He still has a little analytic cunning, and I was thinking faster. Fighting ability, of course, it's still going to go to Bane. Because now all of a sudden Bane is an absolute complete total of raw power. Now again, I'm looking at it from strength. classic standpoint. Bane with Venom is between a 5 and 10 ton, where classic Kingpin was still able to hang with Spider-Man. Now look at speed. Of the level of agility that you actually got when it came to what a Kingpin could do from a classic standpoint, very, very powerful, very, very quick. With the Venom coursing through his veins, Bane really still wasn't faster than Batman. He was stronger, he was more powerful, but he wasn't technically faster. So against classic Kingpin, who was handling Spider-Man pretty effectively. Durability, a whole different ballpark now. Again, I'm giving it to Bane. He's got the Venom coursing through him, which is really, really making him a tough individual to try to battle. He's almost getting like close to like a Wolverine almost style of healing factor. Because he's not feeling any pain, he's not really taking any sort of raw physical abuse, he's almost getting no lactic acid, he's not tiring. The vulnerability. This one, of course, with Bane using the Venom, he did still get, things still did pierce his skin. Where I've got another guy who's rocking Kevlar. Of course, his face is fully exposed. Now again, this is classic Kingpin. So he's got the cane, he's got all the random toys he's bringing with him. X Factor, I'll still give this to Bane. If anything else, Bane's going to be able to see that cane is doing something. He's going to try to get that cane away from him. But he's taking on the guy who easily handles Spider-Man. And this, of course, is the guy who was able to break Batman's back. So he did a great job against Batman. Now, if I'm looking at more classic styles, classic Spider-Man had a lot of really good, strong feats to him. And classic Kingpin was able to very easily handle people like Captain America, Spider-Man. So he's handled people very, very effectively and very efficiently. I do think that classic Kingpin would be more than a match for Bane while using the Venom. And a lot of it ends up being because he does have a lot more feats to him. And another aspect, of course, is that he's going to have the cane. And that cane, it's pretty much like a walking Deus Ex Machina for him. So, when it comes right down to it, out of these three fights, the winner ended up being Kingpin.